completing the square to write a quadratic function in standard form. For the quadratic function, f of x is equal to 2x squared plus 8x minus 5. Write the function in standard form by completing the square. The standard form of quadratic function is given by f of x is equal to a times the quantity x minus h squared plus k, where a is not equal to 0. And here, the vertex of the parabola is given by the point hk. Our function is f of x is equal to 2x squared plus 8x minus 5. So for this function, we want to look at the first term, and the leading coefficient of the first term is not 1. So we want to try to make it so we have just an x squared. So in order to do so, I'm going to focus right here on these first two terms. And I'm going to look to take out this leading coefficient of 2. So if I do that, then I have 2 times the quantity, x squared, and 2 times what? Gives me an 8x. That's 2 times 4x. And I'm going to deliberately leave some space here. And this minus 5, I'm going to bring down outside the brackets. So what I want to do in parentheses, or square brackets, is to complete the square. So I'm going to look at this middle term, or the linear term here. And I want to take half that number, half of 4. So half of 4, or if you prefer, you can write 4 over 1, half of 4 is 2, and then I want to square that value. So half of 4 is 2, and then 2 squared is 4. So in order to complete the square, I want to add a value of 4, and I do not want to change the problem, so I'm also going to subtract a value of 4, with the net difference being 0 here. So I'm looking at these first three terms inside the square brackets. X squared plus 4x plus 4. And this is what we call a perfect square trinomial. And so inside the square brackets, I would like to keep these three terms. And I want to go ahead and take this minus 4 outside of the square brackets. But each of the terms inside the square brackets are being multiplied by this 2. So in order for this negative 4 or minus 4 to come outside, I need to go ahead and multiply it by 2. So my next step is I have 2, I'll leave this perfect square trinomial inside, x squared plus 4x plus 4. I'm going to go ahead and apply the multiplication of 2 times negative 4 and bring it outside the square brackets or parentheses. So that's minus 8, and then I will bring down this minus 5. From here, I would like to factor this perfect square trinomial. So I'll come up here. And so my next step is I have the 2 outside. The perfect square trinomial, x squared plus 4x plus 4, will factor into x plus 2 squared. And then I'll combine these like terms outside the set of parentheses, minus 13. The quadratic function in standard form is 2 times the quantity x plus 2 squared minus 13.